Welcome back to Archero 2, and today we are doing the first build ever, the ranged build. Honestly, there are like 3 main builds available right now that are viable, and there are like maybe 2 more that are not that viable. So we'll start with an arrow build because I feel that this one is one of the most free-to-play friendly and very noob friendly, because you don't have really strict requirements to make it work other than liking and subscribing this video. Yeah. So yeah, basically, what do you need for that build to work? Anything. But in order to be most effective, you will need to get the right equipment, right runes, and all that stuff. So we'll start with the equipment. You can use either the bow or crossbow or the staff, depending on what do you like the most. It doesn't matter at this moment. It's just different types of attacks and different order of skills that you will get. So with the beam staff, you will be way better if you get the eye tracking. So it will be possible to automatically aim all the beams at the enemies and they will kind of pierce them a bit. But in any case, they are pretty close in terms of the damage, so it doesn't matter that much, especially since we all, well, if you manage to finish the first event, first carnival, if you manage to get the dragon crossbow, that will do way more damage. So I have a comparison here. This is S dragon crossbow, and this is the beam staff, and beam staff have 444 damage, while the crossbow has 666. So even with all the bonuses from the crits and combos that will add up to 10%, it will be 484, well, a bit more. And this one is so much better. So in terms of the damage, this one will win. So for this build, it just has to be a long-ranged weapon. Knuckles won't do, well, they can, but that's not the perfect weapon for this build, for sure. As for the armor, you would like to go for either Echo or Oracle set. They're kind of the same. Oracle is S tier Echo set, basically. Or Destruction set. Destruction set is actually okay as well, with additional damage to the enemies. That deals some more AoE, so it's better against the normal enemies. Not that great against the bosses, but still okay. So Dragon Knight set or Destruction set. I use Dragon Knight here because it's getting us more stats, so obviously S tier will be better than even the legendary item. So that's why if you get your hands on something else that works for you, do it. It's not set in stone, so you can adjust it however you want. Alright, so that's for the equipment. For the runes, the main thing that you would like to get is this sharp arrow over here, because it will give you your main weapon additional damage percentage and main weapon attack, so it's really good for the damage. And then, well, up to you. I still use Soul Blade Circle here in case if some Soul Blades will drop and I won't have any option, but it's not essential. I personally prefer to go with the Ricochet Strike or even Fairies sprites sometimes, because depending on what options you will get, you might go one way or another. None of those are really great, to be honest. So I would prefer going with the sharp arrow. Then the second it will be Flame Knock Seal, because it will increase your fire and poison damage. That will help your fire and poison arrows. Then Frost Shock Seal to increase lightning and ice damage, because those can actually happen as well. And you can get the paralysis and kind of do additional options as the runes get stronger. And the last one is up to you. Sometimes I go with a Potion Magnet, because if you get Meteor Potions, they are not the best, but if you get them, they will be automatically picked up, and that's really convenient. You don't have to run for them, because this is not a very mobile build. You will need to be staying at the distance and standing to shoot, so mobility isn't the great for this one. So those are for the enhancement runes. Let's get one of those back. Obviously this one, because this one is epic +1, it gives a lot of damage. Now for the ability runes. For the ability runes, the best one you can get is Arrow Rain, obviously, because it increases your main weapon damage as well. And starting skill on epic is Arrow Rain every 7 shots, and later on it gives you attack speed, which is really good with the armor set that we have here for the combo, really convenient. Then it's Flame Knocks Touch as well, so you will get a bit more fire and poison damage, and random enemies will be poisoned. Not the best one, but it works for this build. And then depending on what do you decided to take as a second option, so either the circle option or maybe the sprite option, up to you guys. I usually go with the circles, but right now everything is messed up because I need way more various things to do that. So yeah, right now I drop meteors because they give us more HP basically. So yeah, honestly in this build it's so much easier to avoid the enemies and evade them that probably you need way less survivability, but I'm so horrible at evading that I still take the best thing that can give me most stats. Now for the blessing runes, those up to you honestly. There are no best things over here. I would say that something like Rabbit's Foot might be good because it increases the chance of obtaining high quality skills upon level up, and most of the skills we will need will be epic or even legendary, so that will help a lot if you have that. But yeah, depending on what do you have, pick whatever you want. Lucky Shadow is good as well for extra luck and extra dodge, but yeah, other than that it's up to you. I will go with the Guardian because I take a lot of damage and I can die otherwise, and Revive because survivability, and they are the highest rarity as well, so they will give me more attacks. So yeah. As for the characters, there are no best characters for this build, but something like Helix would be great because all the attack speed bonuses after taking damage, attack power after taking damage, you know, all those nice things, and increase attack. This is really good for this build. It's good for most builds, but yeah, pick the one that you will feel more comfortable with. Honestly, most of those guys are good and they will totally depend on your playstyle, so pick the ones that you feel works for you. Now let's move on to the actual fight. We will attempt the new level right now because I feel confident. Not really, but we will see. And I will show you how the gameplay looks like for this build. I'm playing this on the PC using the LD player. You can get it using the link in the video description. I really recommend that, so it will be easier for you to avoid the enemies and all that. And now we don't really get the good options here. All of those are bad, so we'll take the poison. All right, so what we want to aim for? We want to aim for the skills that will increase our attack speed, attack, and there are some debatable skills out here that are pretty good, but not that great and very situational. If you've seen my skills tier list for the game, if you haven't, you can take a look at it after this video. It kind of explains all the skills based on Circle or Archer build, so I explained more stuff over there, but mainly, like, Lightwind Arrow is good. Everything that increases your arrow damage, arrow attack speed, and your overall attack, number of arrows, eye tracking for auto aim, and if you can get the beam damage, that would be great. So basically, yeah, if you went for the strikes, for the swords, well, you might want to go for sword things as well. So depending on what you pick, but always prioritize the thing that will give your normal attacks a bonus, because we want to get like Gatling gun attack speed with crazy damage. And what do we get at the legendary? Really good. Power trio, really, really nice. So that already increased our attack speed and damage and health. That will allow us to do so much more. The cool thing about this build is that you can stay away from the enemies and you will have plenty of time to react to their attacks instead of like being really close and personal and getting your ass kicked by the enemies that you can't even see. The drawback, once again, since you're standing so far away from the enemies, let's get the Swift Arrow. And this is a debatable skill, but it increases attack speed a lot. Attack power lowered not that much, so it's kind of okay, but the spread is the worst thing over here. You won't be able to hit the enemies unless you will get a tracking eye, and your accuracy will be way worse. But if you can get the tracking eye, that will make it OP. So as you can see, the enemies far away are barely hit, but we can handle that because we can avoid the enemy damage. And for the bosses, it's not that bad because the bosses are huge, so you can actually target them easier. They won't dodge your attacks so easily. Alright, let's take this, let's take that. So yeah, it's pretty easy. Take your time, stay away from the enemies, and get the skills that will help you. The good skills, let me go to the wiki really fast so I can show you the skills that we need. Since we might not get lucky and get everything, this will be easier way to do that. So, out of the legendary skills, Energy Beam is OP, really powerful. It will change your arrow attacks into the beam. It's not so useful if you already have the beam weapon. Rapid Fire, really good, +1 projectile, really nice, and really good damage output. Then there is a power trio, which we already took, convenient, and gives us 15% of everything. Yeah, the wiki has the actual values, guys, so you go check it out if you need it. We move on to epic skills. Don't take energy ring ever, because this thing, it increases your damage, but you won't be able to avoid enemy projectiles. That will just clog the view and you won't be able to see anything. That's not the good thing to get. Wall piercing is horrible as well, because it's most of the time not that useful. Slow fields sort of okay if you want to avoid projectiles easier. Attack power okay. Tracking eye is like the best skill ever. That will actually convert your attacks into auto aiming ones, so that will help with the skill we already took. And if you have the diagonal arrows, they will go towards the enemy as well, so really good. What else we have here? Weapon, enchantment. Now this one is a debatable one. The thing about it that it lowers your attack by 40%, so it's like 0.6 after that multiplier of the damage, and it lowers the attack speed as well, so your attacks will be way weaker. The good thing, you don't have to stand to shoot, so you can keep moving around and use that to take out the enemies. It's really good, especially with the charging thing like energy beam, so if you need to charge something, it will be charging all the time, so you won't have the downtime. Really good in that concern, but it's very debatable. There is another debatable skill, we'll get to that in a second. Stand strong, this one. The longer you stand, the higher attack speed and attack power will be, up to 45% bonus. And if you pick this one, there is no point getting the weapon enchantment basically, because you will be standing still and you can shoot anyway. So if you have the boss that's really requires you to be very mobile, then it's a good option. If not, I'd actually avoid that. But it's really cool because you don't depend on standing still afterwards, so yeah. Lightwind arrow, really good, that gives you 2 times damage on the arrows sometimes. Swift arrow, which we took, 0.8 times damage and 1.5 time attack speed, so overall you get a really decent DPS bonus, but dispersion is horrible, so unless you get a tracking eye, it will be an issue. But if you get a tracking eye, it won't be an issue. Everything else is not so crazy. Piercing arrow, ricocheting arrow, split arrow, all bad. Short range strike, I don't recommend it, because usually you want to stay close, but with this build you want to stay away, so it's not always working like that. Stand strong, we talked about that already. Front arrow, it lowers the damage by 15%, but gives additional arrows, so overall, good additional damage. Freeze, Bolt, Blaze, Venom, not that great, but they give you additional damage, and if you don't get any other options, go for it. Charged arrow will increase the damage quite a lot, but will add charge, so take it only in case if you know what you're doing. If you have enough attack speed, for example, or if you have a weapon enchantment, so it can charge while you're running away, because I had an issue when I couldn't fight the boss because of that. We go to the fine skills right now. Bounce arrow useless. Frenzy potion might be good, because that gives you a lot of the crit rate and attack speed, and picking it up actually worth it. Fairy breath for attack speed, like all the stuff. Bane to bosses, really cool, because it increased damage to bosses by 20% and fully heal before the boss battle, so you can actually take the angel instead. And what else do we have? Not useful, not great, whatever, doesn't matter. Backwards arrow, only useful if you get the beam attack, so either you get that legendary skill or you get the staff and tracking eye. That way the beam that will go from your back will turn around and target to the enemy. It will hit them all the time, so really cool if you have that tracking stuff. And it gives like 100% damage, so why not? And the long range power. This is up to 50% extra damage from the range, so if you use this and you have the auto tracking or the beam, you will always hit the enemy and you can stay far away from the enemy, and that will be really good. That's all the skills, by the way. So let's go back to the game and see how it will go for us, what kind of skills we will get in our run, and if we'll be able to finish the current level. First boss is defeated, we get some more skills, let's see. Yeah, we get attack range lower, attack power and speed good. This is a pretty cool skill, but it lowers your range so much that you have to be really close, so I don't like that. And I want to play like from the long range right now, and the enemies are dangerous here, so that's another reason to consider. If you fight the tough enemies that can kill you in a couple of shots, yeah, I still take damage, right? So if I'll be close, I'll die way faster. So I'd prefer to have a bit lower damage, but stay away from the enemies instead of, you know, going all in and getting my ass kicked earlier than I should have been killed and stuff. So yeah, for your movement patterns, try to stay on one spot and don't move too much. If you want to evade projectile, just do a sidestep basically. Let's see what do we get. Diagonal arrow. This is good enough. We'll take it. So I'm hoping for the long range auto tracking stuff. So yeah, if you need, let's kill this guy. If you need to avoid something, everyone's dead. And there we go. We get an option to get stand strong and debatable, but it still gives you a bit more attack and damage, which is nice. This one is also pretty good. Perilous favor. So sometimes if you get lower than 50%, that will give you pretty decent bonuses. I'll take the stand strong right now. So we will actually see its benefits because as you can see, attack speed is increasing quite a lot. So yeah, small sidestep, but some enemies, oh yeah, don't forget some enemies has tracking to their projectiles. So some can be sidestepped, some has to be properly evaded. Another boss, it's twins now, so let's try to take them out. Shouldn't be that much of a problem. I need to poison the second one though, for extra DPS. And yeah, as you can see, if we stand on one spot, we do really decent damage, and it really takes a lot of effort to figure out if the enemy will hit you or not, because sometimes you might think if they will, but they are not, and you just ruin your combo and you just ruin your attacks, standing attacks streak basically. It's really good against the enemies that are melee, that don't shoot stuff at you. But yeah, it still requires some focus to avoid things. But I really like it because you don't need to move around too much. And there we go, we get weapon enhancement. And we won't take it right now because we already picked the stand strong, so they will not work well together. Let's get the slow field this time. Poison is good as well, but I wanna avoid the projectiles and I wanna show you how it works. So bam, as you can see, the projectiles in this area are way slower, so they will give you more time to avoid the damage. It's really good for sloppy people like me who can't really react to things in time, I guess. There we go, we get attack increase, that's pretty good. We don't take circles right now because even though those circles were great, like they require you to be close, and once you pick that short, long range attacks thingy, you won't be close to the enemies anymore. You want to stay away from them. Actually, you want to stay in the corner, like go over here at the bottom and attack from here, so the enemies, they will be as far away as possible and you will do as much damage as possible. So yeah, as I wanted to say, the problem that your arrows, if the enemies move, they don't hit the enemies all the time anyway, even if you don't have that skill, so you will miss sometimes. But with the beam weapons, you will never miss. So that's important thing that you should keep in mind. Let's get the let's get Lucky Cracker instead. Screw that. We will get dodge and get max HP and get some healing from this, and we are ready for action. Sometimes you would like to keep your HP below 50% for a reason, to do more damage, to take enemies faster, but you should do it only in case if you know what you're doing. Otherwise, otherwise you will regret it quite a lot because you will take extra damage out of nowhere, and that will harm you a lot. Oh my god, like right now. Yeah, there we go, enemy's dead. Nice. Let's get some healing, let's get the roulette, and hopefully we'll get the Valkyrie with the nice stuff for us. No, we won't. We will get the minor XP. Alright, that will do as well. So yeah, the main skill you will get using this build is trying to don't move too much and move when you need to. So it will be like a balanced movement for you. So you will be able to do enough damage, but get the bonus attacks all the time and do as many shots as possible while you're standing still to deal max DPS basically. Because otherwise, if you're moving around too much, you are not shooting arrows too much and you are not doing damage. When you're running around, you're doing nothing. But keep in mind, survivability still should be your first priority, so if you can avoid the attack, do that. We can get charged arrow right now, but I'll take Fairy of the Wind instead. That will give us a bit more movement speed, so not that bad. Alright, the Blessing, we get Perilous Fervor, finally. So now we should be able to do pretty decent damage if we are low on HP. Oh my god, we are low on HP already. What the hell happened? Oh wow! They cornered me, there we go. You gotta learn the positioning as well, so you won't get the issue that I had just now, when the enemies were all around me and I couldn't evade their projectiles. Do I have healing? No, I don't. Oh my god, I got killed! But I got revived, so it's not that bad. Angel, max HP, let's go get it. Let's take the boss. During the bosses, I always try to stay as far away as possible. That will allow me to, first of all, charge my weapons better, get more ranged damage bonus, and all that. So, yeah. Just gotta be... And it's easier to avoid enemy projectiles as well. So, you know, you can time things correctly. And, which is weird. You see that they are homing a little bit. When they break, like, they fly towards you. They don't fly randomly. So, yeah. This is a bit annoying if you ask me. The good thing, I don't think that there is an rage timer on the bosses, so you can take your time and shoot away from the distance if you can easily avoid the projectiles and then stay safe, basically. There we go, the boss is dead, we got the devil. The bonus will be horrible. Legendary. Sprite key. Thank you. Let's get the charged arrow. This time we'll take it. That will give us more DPS, and we have enough attack speed to charge it properly. So we won't be in the situation where we can't really shoot. Oh my god. We will be in the situation where there are too many enemies, though. I think the projectiles from the snakes, I forgot their name, wasn't homing before, but now it is, which is annoying. And yeah, the fact that my projectiles are piercing right now will allow us to do way more DPS to the enemies. Because, well, they can pierce the enemies. And that's fantastic. You can take out groups of them with a couple of hits and all that. Alright, I think this is the last one. Yeah, none of those are really good for us. This one is okay after killing monsters, but it's not great for the boss. In any build, your main goal is to finish off the boss, because the normal enemies, they are bad, they can be hard, but they are not that horrible. They don't destroy you like the bosses do. So yeah, take your time, move around, try to avoid taking damage. That's the main thing you can get. If you apply poison on the enemy, it's already working all the time, so you're doing damage. Let's see what do we get. Super Venom seems like a good option. This one is good as well, chance to dodge, but we'll get this one. Poison effects greatly enhanced, that should help with our poison attacks and all. So let's give it a go. That will give us a chance to do the critical poison that deals double the damage. And the poisoned enemies, well, they will die faster now. So even if we're evading the projectiles or anything right now, we can still do insane damage to the enemies because of the poison, because of the burn, and all those options. Final Angel. And before the last fight, if you need health, take health. We don't need it, so we'll take the damage and we'll stay at the bottom and we'll get ready for the fight. Who do we get? The book. It's not that bad, it's easy. And we lost half of our HP, so now we get extra attack bonus. The main problem that we never got the auto-aim thingy, so now our projectiles are flying all around and they don't hit as well as we want them to. But the boss is almost defeated now, and I think we will win this, so just a little bit more. Oh, take your time, and we're good. There we go. So we completed a new level just now, that easily. Challenge ended, new level done, best high score. We get the resources, we get the runes, and that's how the build works. So yeah, honestly, out of the builds I've tried, arrow build, like ranged build, is one of the easiest one to grasp because it's essentially natural. You really want to try to stay away from the enemies, avoid projectiles, and shoot them from the range. So it works really well. I advise you guys to try that because personally, it's so much easier to avoid the projectiles at the range than close to the enemies. You don't need to learn their patterns completely, and that will give you time to actually learn the patterns. The last note I would like to tell you is before getting the S tier set, and you need to summon only one S tier set in the Midstone chest, don't go for random stuff. Make sure that you're using the build that you will like. And if you're using the orbs build, the circles build, you will need the Griffin set that's close range, and it doesn't work with the long range build, basically. You really need to decide what you want to pull from this, otherwise you will end up with something that you don't need. Like those Dragoon rings that I have. They are okay-ish, but I would prefer something else. I would like to go with the Oracle set myself, because I like that combo bonuses, and those are great. So yeah, let me know if you get any extra tips for the Arrow Archer build for Archero 2 in the comments down below. Let me know if you need some extra guilds, so which one are you expecting the most. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video for more content. I will do the best to provide you with it, and check out the video description and the pinned comment for the playlist with the rest of the guides, wiki, Discord, social media, and LD player, so you can play this game on the PC. Too easy, like that's easier to avoid projectiles like that, for sure. Other than that, thank you very much for watching. It's been Stan Kosh. Have a good one. Bye.